And so today being Tuesday, January 28th, my husband's 70th birthday. Very exciting. It's a special day already and a lifetime together, and that being special itself. And in all of that specialness and all of that celebration and heart opening, uh, I think I want to talk today then about change in the middle of all that. Because if what we somehow imagine is that the person who's here today at 70 years old is the person I married, that would be 100,000% incorrect. And if I also imagined that the person who's today is not also some love, some caring, some continuity of the person who I married, that would be wrong, wouldn't it? And so we're always then holding these essential two truths, aren't we? We're holding the constancy of change, the 1 trillion cells in your gut that are going to be recycled today, right? The 1 billion skin cells, I think, some 660 million liver. So it's really just an incredible reality and a truth. So in the teachings,
Wait, what's the other truth? There's this.
sorry, there's the truth of that constant change, and then, thank you, Libby, the truth of that which holds all change, right? Everybody looks, they're like, really? What is that? that capacity actually in you that can bring constancy of view, vision, the holding of the truth of that can be constant and continuous, even when just now you would say, not yet. Mightn't you? You might say, not, I'm not there yet. I don't have that cultivated capacity today to hold those two, sometimes appearedly juxtaposed truths: the truth of ever present change, birthing and death, nothing constant, right, at all, and that which abides all change, which is unmoving, impenetrable, unshakable, right? Look at the words used here: unbound, unconditioned, never not available. And then how do you live? This is the right. How do we live? And even before that, how do we live in this ever changing reality? How do we practice to do it? And then when I hear people say, I myself, I don't have time for this, I get crazy. I lose my marble. I'm like, I don't know what else you're doing other than trying to organize all that change, probably trying to get it to be still, trying to get it to stay stable, right? Probably arranging, what's that funny phrase? Arranging the deck chairs on the Titanic, right? Is something like that. I'm not quite sure of that. But isn't it something like that? Right. Most of our time, most of our time now devoted to, but I don't like that. I want that to be more stable. I don't like this like this. I don't want that to be like that. I want it to be where I can get it all the time. I don't want to, right? And then we're in resistance, would we say? Is there some other understanding in distress, denial. What else do you know? Distraction. You right? Couldn't we say all those things then come to bear? In fact, because what we don't do is turn towards those immutable, and I think in the Buddhist teachings, they call them the basic truths. Basic truths. That which is ever changing is one of the truths. Impermanent is a part of that, right? Nothing that stays, nothing that holds, nothing then that is the whole point of this concept of anatta. It's called non-self. It's really not the best translation. It really means nothing uniquely happening to you, wouldn't it? Nothing uniquely happening to you. No, it wouldn't be like no ego. It'd be like, this isn't personal, this life. It's not doing it to you. It's everybody's lot. It's everybody's experience. It's everybody's reality. No matter what you love, it will change. No matter, right, your favorite thing, it won't, that's not personal. It's not intended like life's been hard to me. It's not true, because what is that truth? Well, in the truth of anatta, it says everyone will experience all of this: the loss of all things we love, the loss of all beings we love, the inability to secure, right, a person, a place, or a thing, right? Do you get, you know what I'm saying? You get this idea. So that anatta, non-self, means nothing towards you different than towards all beings in the reality of this life. Then it is simply in the reality of this life. Now, we all point towards our losses, don't we? We all point towards the change we go through. We all point towards what is not secured. And then we go, what do? Poor me. Poor me. And it doesn't mean you don't get to experience pain or grief over it. That's just human, isn't it? And no one's going to take that from you. Neither should they try. I'm not saying you should just go, well, that's just the way it all is. What am I going to do about that? Nope. You get to cry, you get to scream, you get to go to the wailing wall, you get whatever is going to help you make contact with the truth of that reality. And why is that important? We don't want to deny that either, resist that either, push that away either. Why? Why would that be important? What are your thoughts? Why would it be the most destructive thing, maybe you could say? What you resist persists, says Libby. And so if you resist the truth of grief or pain, where does it show itself? Since it is a reality, cannot be denied, nobody's getting out of it. Nobody. I don't care how much you sit. Nobody. Libby just went, nobody.
That's right. Yeah, right.
Nobody, right?
Nobody.
Nobody is going to escape. Reactivity, yes. Then we resist, we create, Joko used to call it the whirlpool effect. Now we've just got the pain in a swarm and a swirl rather than in, experienced fully, embodied fully, cried fully, screamed fully, beat the pillow, beat the chest. These are some of the phrases from the suttas, by the way. Buddha says, all fine. This is all fine. Try not to cause harm. But your pain is not your problem. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Your pain is not your problem. That, in some ways, that's terrifying to me. because I just want to fix that and go on, right? You just deal with it. But your pain is not your problem, says the Buddha. So then what is? It doesn't mean it's pleasant either, right? I didn't say that. Doesn't mean it's pleasant. But then what? If your pain is not your problem, then where do all problems lie? Not in the truth of suffering. First truth that he says. He says, hey, there's pain here. You signed up for this. If it's not the pain itself, what is it?
Eliminating space.
Eliminating space, the space in which the pain occurs, the space, which space, Dennis?
The space of emptiness, the unknown.
Eliminating it?
Just being with it and
being
tumbling around with it. Tumbling around with it.
Yeah, being open to it, then knowing that, right, in the tumble, we're going to get some scratches, right? We're going to get some nicks. And in fact, interestingly, to the extent that we can open to our pain, we become dramatically more human, dramatically more kind, dramatically more compassionate, as we do not philosophize the reality of pain or find solution. Doesn't mean we don't try to make things better, but fix pain. And that usually is a distraction, by the way, isn't it? Most commonly. And so we turn towards, we open fully, we abide in stillness, silence, and Dennis's open space. This is actually what the Buddha says. This is about it. Since you can't outrun it, and you can't really fix this human life, by the way, it doesn't need fixing. This human life does not need fixing. It needs attending, right? Since we aren't going to escape these essential truths. And dukkha, one of the second essential truths, is there will be this suffering, because it is also human to resist. It is also human to run the other way, isn't it? It's also human to shoot the heroin or to race cars, or I don't know what you're doing, but all of us are doing it, collecting pelicans, whatever we're doing it, aren't we, to get away from the thing we cannot get away from. And then we notice it in everybody else, don't we? We notice it in that, like, I don't know what she's bothering with that lock for. There's right in there. This is crazy. I don't know what she's collecting another pelican for. That thing is just going to break like the other 5,000. I don't know what, right? And what we forget is that very projecting, that very, if only they could get it right, we'd all be better. How many times have you said that? If only the Republicans, if only some over there, if only they could get it together, then we could all be okay. Is not true, is it? It's the essential lie we tell ourselves. If only the babysitter would be nicer. If only the parents were more loving. If only the partner were more adventuresome. That's one of mine. If only, right? They didn't talk about mechanical stuff all the time. Actually, you could put a sentence together about feelings. That would be great. Then things would be better. Really? No. 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 No, no. And then the danger isn't only the thinking it, is it? Remember, we talked about the seeds of thought that then do harm. It isn't only the thought itself, it's then we perceive it, we grab it, we make it true, and we live as if it's accurate. There's a problem because now you are in an altered reality called your own mind. The altered reality of your own mind. Helping no one, not yourself either. Right. And so, with those, the reality of constant change, the reality that nothing is being done to you in this life doesn't mean bad things aren't happening either. It doesn't mean violence isn't a reality. It doesn't mean, it means we're all propagating this thing because one person propagating it couldn't make it happen. We all have to participate in it. And we forget that, don't we? And go, if only they could be more civil. Those mass, right? And this is us taking claim both of our infinite power and capacity to recognize this, to actually make a decision to refrain from that harm, and then to contribute something to the good, even if it's only a cup of tea. Mm-hmm. Then maybe just a cup of tea. And wouldn't it matter? It would change the whole thing, wouldn't it? Just like like magic. If I could then turn towards myself with some kind of regard for the truth of this human life and its suffering, and offer myself or someone or both, right? That's the ultimate idea. But we start wherever we can, some kind of understanding of those essential truths, we would change the world. And in fact, then we are, aren't we? One light uh, twinkle at a time. And then we get frustrated because we go, well, I did my light twinkle. Where's everybody else's light twinkle? Nobody light twinkled me all day. I was light twinkling all day. Not one other light twinkle happened in the whole day. Right. And then we go, I don't want to keep light twinkling. Why does it always have to be me? That's my favorite complaint. Why do I have to keep bringing the light? And my young son at 10 years old had the answer for me because I was complaining. Why do I always have to be the one to apologize? Why do I always have to be the one to understand that there's limitations? And why do I always have to be the one to take out the garbage? Because the other three of you were sitting around doing video games. What? And you know what his answer was? He was 10 years old. He said, because you can. Isn't that brilliant? Isn't that brilliant? Because you can. And somehow we can't. Not yet. We can't yet. Not because we're not capable, but because we don't have the right conditions yet. We haven't right cultivated it or been gifted even in some ways, right? Some of us have been gifted certain capacities. We didn't start all equal either, did we? It's not true. In the Buddhist tradition, they call that karma. We weren't equal at the start, actually. And so whatever you got, you give it. Whatever I got, I give it. And that's going to make for a pretty perfect world, actually, because we didn't need the same things anyway, right? And so be watchful during this period where all these other beautiful students, teachers, beings are going to be sitting with us, and watch for the truths to be told. with a different voice, in a different tenor, with a different angle from their life experience, but all the same. All the same. We're going to have, I think Courtney's going to be teaching uh, one of our Saturdays, right? I think. I know Greg will be doing one of the teachings. I think some of the other board members, Dia maybe, and or Jessica, who also teach on Sundays. So we have a really beautiful community of willing participants to step in to make those offers. I think Carrie as well. And then whatever the offering, that's perfect. And it might simply be, we're all together. This is wonderful. Let's ring the bell and sit. Wouldn't it be perfect? Right? Because what? We need that too. And then somebody else with the poem, well, we need that too. All right, so I think we're understanding. I'm going to read this and then we're going to sit. To understand that the luminous space holds us, that we can open to it and be okay. It's bigger. Yes, it's true. And it's even bigger. You are the luminous space. It's bigger. You are not just in it. You are it. And if you think you're just in it, it's a problem. Isn't it? If that's our deepest understanding, it becomes a problem because now we've got to create all these conditions to get to it, to be in it, to hold it, right? We are it. We are the luminous space. There is no separation between us and all that good and all that stillness and all that silence and all that space. We are just busy in our relative world trying to anchor those chairs on the Titanic. And we're all doing it. It's okay. I'm not saying this in any way with disregard for the wish for stability. But the stability is as well an inside job. See, you can't line those books up enough. You can't line them up enough. You can't line the batteries up. You can't go D's, then C's, then triple A's, then double. You can't do it. My brother tried. And then end up with a life and in life and a whole part of it. You can wall yourself off with all of your organizing. Right? Doesn't mean we shouldn't try, but enough, right? Just enough so that we can be available to the world. Leslie, good morning. Not accepting and being compassionate to it. Yes, the non-acceptance, the resistance, the denial is in fact the cause of suffering, we could say, right? The essential cause. And Courtney, the problem with how we approach it, the habits we build to avoid what? Life. Isn't it? To avoid not pain, because you can't get out of it. Life. Then you have to run the other way from life. Or you have to let it break you. Right? And you just like, this is going to kill me, literally. Not incorrectly, this life. And I'm going to open to it in a way that will be kind, compassionate, and a contribution to lessened suffering for me and others. Okay, got a lot of good things coming in the next month. I want to read this poem first. We're just out of order all over the place today. No problem. Let's see if I can find that. Let's see if I can share it now. This is always a little harder because it takes up my whole screen. Let's see if we can do that. This might be it. Here it is. So we're going to read this as we sit. You will recognize it as a meditation poem. I think. And then be prepared to sit as we read it. And then we're going to sit silently for some time and go on. And the name of this poem is In the World. In the World by Bridget Lowry, just so everyone knows. In the strange early morning, half lit, we sit. In the cloudness of our questioning, we sit. In our midst of too much to do, we sit. I missed a line. In our madness and our clarity, we sit. In the warm arms of our shared sorrow, we sit. In community and in loneliness, we sit. In sweet exhaustion, we sit. In the blazing energy of being alive, we sit. Here with the singing crickets, here with each electric bird song, here with the rippling of breezes and the dry grasses, here with the cobwebs and the clouds and the dusty road upon us in the sound and the sound in us in the world and the world in us. We sit. And then we sit us in the world and the world in us. No separation, no struggle, no resistance, no suffering. And we remember then the beauty of the world and the beauty of us. And we rest in that luminous, loving awareness to remember. And we let all doing, all thinking, all speaking come from it. We bring the constancy of love, of compassion, of wisdom, of joy, of equanimity into the world that is us. This is the capacity of your own true nature. It is who you really are. And we want to live it loud, proud, alive, boldly in this lifetime. It is, in fact, the only thing that we are here to do. And thus we train and practice. And never call it nothing. And may this practice be of benefit to all beings everywhere without exception, including you. And may it begin and continue. So be it. And then we remember, don't we? And then we remember there is no suffering, right? Then there is no suffering in that. There's only the suffering when we forget. Yes. And when we forget, we get all caught up in all those language, of course, in the teachings is those worldly things. But I don't want to distinguish that either exactly, because attending to things, you know, in one's life is also good. We just don't want to do it with the idea that that's the point, right? We don't want to mistake it. We're just setting conditions for us to then be most loving, most kind, most present, most wise. That's the reason you dust the floor. Right. So that that doesn't become the obstacle, so that that's not in your way towards this essential good heart mind. Greg, good to see you this morning. Anything to add?
I just want to make sure that I wish you a wonderful trip, and I'm excited for you. And, you know, it's just That's pretty special going down to that part of the planet.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. I know everyone is sending me those wishes. I really appreciate that and want them and collecting them. We'll need them for the moments where the train is missed and the right plane didn't go and the boat left without us and all the stuff that is also a part of this life. Right. And I'm already anticipating it, which is the good news. And I'm also anticipating that my husband will freak out because that's more his habit. And that, I will do my job of not freaking out at his freak out, which will be my practice during that. And so that whatever happens then becomes a part of the wonder of it all, right? The mystery of it all, the beauty of it all. And we're going to an amazingly beautiful place. I've only heard the most amazing things. I haven't heard anybody say, gosh, I wish I hadn't gone there. It's not been said so far. So that we have created this for ourselves to celebrate our 70th birthdays feels really honoring of each other uh, and this human life, right? Quite precious, quite precious. And we're figuring we can get on and off the boat still. So probably a good time to go before we can't. Like go while you can still do it. It's a great idea. Yeah, great idea. So thank you for that. Our friends, we just got word, have gotten the flu. Yes, so our friends who are going with, who are flying out of Dallas on Thursday morning, now have some flu and are on some Tamiflu. So Renee probably knows more about that. Carrie, I don't know if that's prescription or over the counter, but they're on it.
Prescription.
It's prescription.
So they tested positive to get that. So
Yeah. Okay.
it's okay. 5 days, they'll be good.
Okay. So they've had it since Sunday.
Okay.
Which is, oh, thank you for this info, Carrie. I feel better already. This is great. I'm like, I can't be with these people for 2 weeks now of the, and they're saying that we should get some Tamiflu, which is now making me think that's not really possible since we are not going to test positive for flu.
Most likely, your doctor will not just give you Tamiflu.
Most likely will not. Okay.
No.
All right. I don't feel I was just thinking now I've got to not be with my friends to begin our amazing trip. And it'll be how it is as well, with me, of course, wanting their well-being most importantly. And, I already have to accept that may mean maybe they don't fly on Thursday. Who knows? This is that reality of ever-changing truths. Right? It could be. And as we all know, we're breathing now. That's all. Nobody actually knows how it unfolds on Thursday. And because of this very tenderness, right? Because of this very reality, we offer what? Radical love and compassion. Because this is it, right? Don't know nothing. May go, may not go. May get on the plane, may not get on the plane. May get to the ship, may not get to the ship. And then when we are in complaint about these truths, we suffer. It doesn't mean you don't get to go, shucks, gosh, I wish they were well. And I do wish they were well, and I'd actually rather they be well than on a plane that maybe they shouldn't be on. Right? I don't know. I just don't want. I don't.
They got to wear masks.
That's they're non-mask wearers. So this happens to be dear friends who have a fairly different in certain ways, and then not in others, right? In that they love their children, wish their happiness, but they are non-mask wearers, and so we will be wearing masks which we were planning to do, by the way, anyway. Right, it won't just have to do with the flu. So, and then you know, this is everybody doing their best. Right.
I kind of think doing your best there is protecting yourself.
That's
That's
right.
all you can do.
That's right.
And you can boost your immune system quite a bit with certain remedies.
We will be on airborne, I think. We've got a little extra C's going, and the cardiologist said, please take an aspirin every day now for the whack, whack, whack.
Yep.
You'll be less likely to die of a stroke. Well, this is encouraging. That's a great idea for a 13-hour flight. Good. That's good. I'd like not to die from a
Compression socks.
Yep. 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 We got a new book light. We have little few pillows.
We're all going to tell you how to do it, Diana.
Yes. Well, advice is great,
You
especially
need to.
yeah, especially if you've done it. You know, the truth is there are things we can do to try to ensure not only our safety and well-being, but the safety and well-being of others.
Right.
And I want that for everyone. And so those are always lovely suggestions. And then, like our friends who will not likely wear masks, then we do what's right for us. Right. I do not feel compelled to tell them that they need to be in them. And I feel slightly more compelled to be bringing one myself for some period of time. And then this, again, it'll go the way they go if they even get on the plane.
I shared a tincture that I use a lot with travel, that you should be able to find at any of your health food stores. It's called
Great.
Kick-Ass Immune.
Kick-Ass Immune. I like the name already.
It's
Yeah.
really nice. It's really good.
This tincture is amazing. We do take something called wellness, and I'll bet that there's a lot of similar product in that, but we will take a look at that, probably maybe like at a place like Sprouts, right? Or Jimbo's, or maybe. I will look it up for sure. Our wellness formula tastes horrible. It's almost, if they didn't put licorice in it, it'd flip you back. You would, it's so, and there's things like garlic and other things that are naturally boosting as well in there. But thank you so much for that, Courtney. Courtney travels a lot into a lot of exotic, amazing places. This is part of the beauty and horror of her life. And they're both true, depending on the day. You know, it's good news, bad news. Who knows? Says the beautiful story. So thank you for that, because we're going to definitely look that up and see if we can't do that. So thank you all for that. My advice to you all then would be what? Practice. Practice with each other, practice alone, call me to mind, call others to mind, call yourselves to mind, and then cultivate that ever available, always luminous reality of you, because we need it, really, don't we? And if you're not doing it, then again, like my son says, right? We do it because we're capable of it. And I know that you all are, because we've been doing this long enough together and continuing to do it together, even when the headliner's not here. Is important, isn't it? And maybe it's more important. Yeah. By the way, I would say, wouldn't you? So I want to make sure that we don't forget each other in this month. And I will be trying when I can to see if I can't jump on here and there to say hello. And what I have committed to doing is with all of you, I will be sending at least maybe once or twice a week email telling you about my practice as I am crossing a different hemisphere and how I'm experiencing, knowing, celebrating, supporting that as well. And my practice will continue as well. I get up very early. My husband does not get up very early. And so besides heading for a little extra time to stretch and do some things I don't do enough when I'm here, I'm going to be choosing to do some extra practice, which I feel very excited. And the idea of looking out over the ocean at the sun to do it just sounds particularly amazing. Particularly amazing. So there's that. And then before we do the Bodhisattva prayer, I want to tell you that on March 29th, that's a Saturday, I will only be saying this on our Zooms and writing it to you individually. I will be offering not Encinitas mindfulness. I will be offering a full day mindful all day with microdosing. And technically not microdosing because we're going to go from 500 milligrams and up depending on your experience with that. So if you're interested in that, that is me, only me, nothing to do with EMC. So everybody hear that. Me, just me.
Where do you register, Di?
Yes. Yeah. We already have somebody register. I have to take that off of that website, Carrie.
Correct.
Yes. So I actually do know that now that we're shaping it and getting some clarity on it. You're not going to be going to EMC's website to sign up for it. I'll send you an email about all that. I just want you to look at your calendars, put that in. It will be at the Dome, not at Quest Haven. You know why. That's not okay. We can't, that's right. Quest Haven is a designated sacred ground, and that is, they are not supporting that at this time. And we are not going to do anything to contribute to that distress for them. So just know that. If you are not a person then who has ever done microdosing, you would need to be someone who would have done it before the 29th. I'm not working with someone who shows up to go, I haven't done this, is very interesting to me. Let's see how it goes. I can't work. I need you to have at least tried 300 milligrams a couple of times to make sure that everybody's okay. That's the way that's going to go. So if you haven't done it and you're interested, let me know. We'll let others know to get that to you. Libby's here. I can make sure that she gets you something so that we can do that if you're interested.
So we can get it through Libby, the
Yeah.
300 through Libby.
Yeah, the 300s. Let me know. You're going to email or text me. Dennis will have the international plan. I'll get all those and then I'll let Libby know and you guys will coordinate.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that would be at least 303 times at the minimum.
Three times? 300, 3 times.
300 milligrams 3 times. Yeah.
In the same day?
Uh-uh.
No.
No, I wouldn't. Well, I would.
Yeah.
Let me take that back. I would. I just wouldn't recommend that as a start. 300 each day for 3 days.
For 3 days straight. 3
Yeah.
days straight.
Yeah. And then, we'll go from there. So just write me. We'll work all that out.
Okay, thank you.
But I want you to know about it now because I'm not going to be able to talk about it. By the time I get back, it'll be early March. People need to make plans for that kind of thing. But you will get an email, everybody. Okay, anything else before we do the prayer?
What is the date for the EMC spring retreat?
May 8th through 10.
Oh, okay.
May. 8 through 10. We got moved a little bit to May. I actually think that's going to be gorgeous. It's beautiful there. If there are rains, the stream is running, the flowers are blooming. It's absolutely spectacular. And the weather is phenomenal. That's one of my favorite months at Quest Haven besides October, which is my second favorite. And so we got moved there. It is Mother's Day weekend, but we will not be sitting on Sunday for any of those who are lucky enough, like I am, and like Lynn is, to have moms, right? And or be moms, either one. So May 8th through 10th, that will be on the EMC website. You will go there to sign up. If you're going to be in residence, it does have to be at Quest Haven's request for 2 nights. Otherwise, you will be a commuter, and the commuter price, all that's there. So no worries about that. And I hope I get to see everyone there. These are just amazing practice. We will be celebrating our 25th year relationship with Quest Haven this year. 25 years. It's actually just amazing. And they have been, even when confused, even when they can't remember the dates, and they have been so really gracious to us to give us their land in a certain way, because we're really sitting on it, very different than some groups there. And walking on it. And I love that. And I love their seeing us as benefactors to their land, which inspires me. Coming from a very different tradition, right? As well. How lovely that we can see the good in each other there. And then I'll remind you, but the newsletter will come out in the next 2 days about St. Andrews. Please look at contributions of food and of monies for food. And Lisa Talamini will be doing the shopping on February 10th. And then Lynn, there'll be something in the newsletter. It's already there. I've already got that part, but Lynn will also be reaching out to everyone who's available for the Philabelly at the end of February. I think that date is like the 27th. My brain, I got a lot of dates in there. 27th, it's a Thursday, and we're going to be, Lynn will be putting out something to say sign up, as well as her phone number to text to sign up for items. And I'm very excited about our Philabelly relationship. That's also good. That will all be happening in February. So thank you. All right, everyone. Anything else? I think feels like time for a good prayer to me. And when in this tradition, just let me say this about it. Prayer in the Buddhist tradition is not to an entity. It is not to the Buddha. So we don't want to confuse that. It is not to a source other than you might call it unified source of all beings, right? You, the others, the trees, it includes everything, but it is not to any source that we're saying, if you could only get this worked out, this would be great. Could you do, saying, can I remember that I am it? Can I remember that you are also it, and treat you accordingly? Right? Can I remember that I am it, and call this truth to mind and embed it in my heart and in every cell? And then can I remember that you are it? And in this tradition, we say the Buddha, but that's a little sectarian. We could just say the all good, the essential, couldn't we? The essential. because without you, I cannot be well. And without me, you cannot be well either. Right? And so we pray. And the neuroscience itself says, call it out, say it out loud. Let it vibrate, not only in your own body, through your own lungs, your own heart, your own vocal cords, in the gathering of your own hands. But we touch then with those very sound waves and with that very spirit and with that very heart of bodhicitta, we touch everything. Right? So we say it out loud, not just keep it to ourselves. And if you do not know this prayer, then learn it. Right? Learn it. Why? So you can say it out loud. Or read it so you can say it out loud and be it. May I be a guard for those who need protection, a guide for those
Guide.
on the path, a boat, a
Boat,
raft,
raft.
for those who wish to cross the flood.
Let's
May I be a lamp in the darkness,
this
resting place for the weary,
weary.
a healing medicine for all who are
All.
sick, a vase of plenty, a tree of miracles. And for the boundless multitudes of living beings, may I bring sustenance and awakening, enduring like the earth and the sky, until all beings are free from sorrow and all are awakened. May we all have happiness and the causes for happiness. May we all be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May we all remember our infinite, never-ending blessings, and may we use those blessings to the well-being of all. May we rest and dwell in the vast, open, and luminous heart of bodhicitta, free from greed, free from hatred, free from delusion, until all beings are happy and free. May it be so this very day, this very month, this very lifetime, and may I contribute, and may you contribute to making it so. So be it. Ah. And then we smile at the truth. Thank you all so much for being here with me this last day for a little while. Greg will be here Thursday. We have someone, I can't remember who, this Saturday. And of course, Jessica or Dia on Sunday. So there's lots of opportunities. So please be well, everyone. Be well, everyone. I love you. I look forward to seeing you. I think it's March 2nd or something. Someday like that. I'll let you know when I get that figured out. Just a deck chair.
We're flying with you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I wish for everyone's ease and well-being also. Take care, everyone.
Take care.
Take care. Safe travels. Have a wonderful time and happy birthdays to both you and Al.
Yes, thank you so very much. Thank you.
Much love.
Love to you. Thank you all.